This is our cotton module truck, and it's dumped right now. I'm gonna show you what it does. It's got these chains. I think it's 12 chains, and they back under what's made to be a cotton module. We're gonna do bundles of hay with it. But anyway, that sits on the ground all the way dumped, and those chains are timed with we put it in a correct reverse gear, and so the chains are going the exact speed of the tires on the truck. And so what it does, and I'll send a separate video of this where we've done it before, is it just scoops up those hay. So what we're going to do is we're going to stack 22 bundles of hay, one wide and 2 tall. Well, on the front and back, we're going to turn them on their face and put 3 on the front face down and 3 on the back face down, so that they're more stable. And in between there, I'm giving you too much information, but in between there we'll stack, one on the bottom, one on the top, standing up. So I'll try to orient you to this truck. This is kind of a complicated thing, but somebody's gonna have to run it. So all right, so getting up in here. All right, the key works the same as that Massey Ferguson tractor. You crank it with the key. You have to, I don't know, you may have to mash the clutch in, but this is a straight shift vehicle, and you always have to start this one off in first gear. All right, so, but anyway, that's the key to turn it on, and you flip the key to turn it off, and then you pull that kill switch. And again, if that's pulled, if you get back in here and that's pulled, and you're trying to crank it, it's just going to spin round and round, and it won't be cranking. So you got to push that in. But it's always a good idea that when you're cranked, to turn the key off first, right there in the middle, because it will go backwards one, right there in the middle, and then pull the kill switch. Otherwise, you might leave the key on and it run the battery down. All right, so your gears, as far as going down making the truck move, are, I have to think a second. I think it's all the way over and up is reverse, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think that's going to be reverse. Either reverse or first, and then pulling it straight back is the other one. All right, so you put it in gear, and then again ease out on the clutch, and when it starts to move, you keep that foot down. You keep pressure on it, and not down, but you keep pressure on it and just keep easing it out. Because like I said on that tractor, right there is where it's going to start moving on you. And if you pop it on out, once it starts moving, it's probably going to kill the truck. It'll just, it'll just jerk and just cause it to stall, and you have to crank it back. So when you're starting to move, you keep easing, just keep on easing out on it. So and then you go from first, and then you clutch it, pull it down to second. You don't have to ease back out as much on second, on second and third once you're rolling. So there's your brakes. Ooh, they're air brakes, you can hear. Which means it's got to be cranked and built up before it'll move very much. That's your air brake there. It's got to be pushed in in order for you to move. It's like a big truck, a diesel, like a semi truck. You got to push that thing in to release the air brakes, and then it'll move. Now you can try to put it in gear and move it without pushing that in, but it ain't gonna go anywhere. I don't think, or it shouldn't. This little red button, that's what we call a dog. That means you've actually got first gear, and then you got a low range, and then you pull that out. It's a high gear, and once you do that, you let off on the gas, and it'll catch in second gear. You don't have to worry about that, but you might say, well, what the heck's that for? But anyway, that's what it's for. We probably won't get to that point where you need to do that. If one of you do, then we'll let you know. And then these are the controls for the bed. All right. So let's see how to tell you this. This is a PTO. It's a power takeoff, kind of like what's on the tractor. You have to mash the clutch to flip this on, like that. And then that allows these levers to do their jobs. Now these levers are very fussy, and they got to be in a certain position. So I'm gonna figure that out, and then come back on and tell you. All right, so we we got to play around with it to make sure we know. And we'll say which gear this has got to be in. This has got to be in a certain gear. I think it's going to be, the button's going to be pushed down, and when you're backing under a bundle of, a bunch of bundles of hay, you're going to be in reverse with that down. And then when you're pulling out from under it, I think you're gonna be in first gear. All right. But again, these things are going to be in a certain. So one of them makes the chains go, and then these two over here, I think, make sure you're in the right gear. One makes the bed go up and down to dump, and so we'll get into that, and I'll take a picture once we because it's a lot confusing. Actually, it's even confusing to me because I haven't done it in a while. To know where those are supposed to be. Now, one thing, you got a back glass, but when you got a load of hay, you're not going to be able to look back through there. So you got to use your mirrors. These mirrors are, well, you can barely see down through there, but you can see the side. And then what you'll do is you'll try to line up with those bundles of hay that I talked about. We'd have stacked up, the 22 bundles of hay, which is what, 450, almost 450 bales, or maybe a little bit over 450 bales. But anyway, that's you'll line up with them, and then we'll you back under them. And like I said, I'll show you a video of that. So you would back under, and then when the end gets here to the front, which you can see, you turn the chains off, or you clutch it and you turn the chains off and let the bed down, and you're on your way. And then when we get to where we're going to stack them up and cover them up, you'll do the same thing, but opposite. You'll dump the bed and put it in forward, and put the chains in forward, and it'll just empty those things off just like they were. I don't know why this video is jumping so much, but anyway, so that's a quick orientation on that truck. That's a fussy truck, I'm sure, but it beats the heck out of throwing them up there by hand, that's for sure. That's our service truck. You'll hear my dad talk about, go get the service truck, or do this or do that. It's a straight shift also, so as far as going, you got your clutch here, your brake, and your gas pedal. Everybody's familiar with that, and there's your gears on it. This has all, most of our tools. Got a generator, a welder, an air tank, hopefully everything that we'll need, but probably not. So you may find yourself being a gopher at times. I always do. But anyway, all right. I think that covers the cotton module truck and the service truck.